Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to Quick Shot Reviews for Cheap Shot Entertainment. It is the dedicated movie channel of Cheap Shot Entertainment, and I am your host Luke, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for following the channel and enjoying the reviews. And if you are enjoying them, please let us know on all social media channels, as Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, Cheap Shot Entertainment in their various guises. And of course, liking and subscribing to the channel is our bread and butter, and join the 3,000 plus strong followers of Cheap Shot Entertainment and Quick Shot Reviews. Today's review is of another 2021 film. I know, it's amazing we've actually got films back in the cinema. It is Last Night in Soho from 2021. It is an underrated gem, I think, because people were going to see Dune in droves, and even I didn't go and see this film in the cinema. I watched it on pay as you go on the TV, and I will say this: it's one of the ones I missed, much like Cruella. It's one of the ones I missed that I wish I had have managed to go and see in the cinema, because it outdid most of the films I saw instead of this. And yeah, it's a real gem. I really enjoyed this film. But if you want to hear all of my thoughts on Last Night in Soho, join us for the main part of the video. So, as I've mentioned, Last Night in Soho was released in 2021, and it is one of the films that I wish I had have managed to go and see in the cinema, apart from the actual films that I actually went to see. In fact, in some cases, I'd rather have gone to see this than those, but the cinemas, they're only showing the films for a certain amount of times, and sometimes you just don't get a chance to do it. But I have watched it now, and I can say that it is a wonderful movie. It's beautifully shot. It's got a really good plot line that you can follow. At 2 hours long, roughly. It's not overkill. There's something happening all the time, and it does have some big named stars in it. And most importantly, it's got British actors and actresses in it. Thomasin McKenzie plays Eloise, the main protagonist. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Sandy, the 1960s equivalent of Eloise. Matt Smith plays Jack, the main antagonist in this case. Diana Rigg plays Mrs. Collins. Amy Cassatari plays Eloise's mother. Of course, another fashion student, which I haven't mentioned yet. Eloise is a fashion student, and her mother is a fashion student, and there's a thing there, a underlying story where, you know, the daughter really wants to follow in the mum's footsteps. Mum's not there anymore, so she wants to make her proud, which is quite nice in between all of the other stuff that goes off. Rita Tushingham plays Peggy. Colin Mace plays the taxi driver, and Michael Adjo plays John, the love interest of Eloise in this case. So let me give you a quick rundown of the plot. An aspiring fashion designer is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s. So she walks down this alleyway, and all of a sudden she's in the 1960s. She's having flashbacks to something. What is happening? Well, this is it. You see, it's a bit of a murder mystery, and a bit of horror, and a bit of drama, and all that kind of stuff. where she encounters a dazzling wannabe singer. But the glamour is not as all as it appears, and the dreams of the past start to crack and splinter into something darker. So as reality is broken, it starts fading into the 1960s world, and it's just done really, really well. It's the acclaimed director's brainchild in this one, because it is Edgar Wright, of course, who is a British writer and director. Psychological thriller Eloise, and just following in the footsteps of her mother, and something is not as it appears, and it is in fact much darker. So there you go. That is the official plot line. So what do I think of this film? Well, first of all, Edgar Wright is absolutely awesome. What a director. He's got so many things under his belt. Shaun of the Dead, The World's End, now this, of course, as well as Hot Fuzz, and I think he did Paul as well. And yeah, it's just really, really good. I mean, it is really good. And of course, the original series of Spaced, which is fan-blinking-tastic. I've got all of those on DVD and Blu-ray respectively. He directed and wrote this film, and it is a step in a different direction for a comedy writer, really. I suppose it goes alongside his Shaun of the Dead spoof parody, which was actually quite scary in its own right. You know, it's a zombie movie done in a British comedy type way, where they find themselves in a sticky situation and try to get out of it in the only way they possibly can, by going to the pub. But let's stick to Last Night in Soho. It does involve a few pints and scenes in a pub where Eloise is working while she's in London on a fashion degree, and she just gets really taken in by everything. She's doing really well. She's designing well because she's got this fashionista 1960s equivalent of her she keeps dreaming about, where she designs the dresses based on that. And just the transition of the modern world to the 1960s world, it's done really, really well. And like I say, there's a bit of murder mystery in there as well. So everything's not as it seems. You think you're following this glamorous singer, and as you go along, it turns into something much more sinister, and therefore the horror elements are in play. And yeah, it just really catches you off guard. It is a fantastic twist ending, which I'm not going to give you, because I think if you go and watch a film, that you should try and get this one. You should try and watch Last Night in Soho, because it is really, really good. And yes, another one, much like Ready or Not, when we went to go and see that, it has been in the cinema for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and then been taken off because people aren't going to watch it. They'd rather go and watch high profile Marvel movies than go and watch the films that come out alongside it. And let me tell you something, I have seen some brilliant, beautiful films that have been released alongside big Hollywood blockbusters, and they're so much better. It's unbelievable. But my verdict on this one is watch it, and as I would always say, make up your own mind with these films, because it doesn't take me to tell you what you like. It's just my opinion and no one else's. So yeah, I think that is something that you should definitely do. Definitely think about watching Last Night in Soho. It is a beautiful film. And that is the end of this review. So I will see you next time, Cheap Shot Nation. Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. Let me know what you thought of this film. And of course, join us on all social media, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that is the bread and butter of YouTube channels. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, Cheap Shot Nation, and goodbye.